We're gonna analyze one of the best wide receivers in the entire world and how he power cleans 315 pounds. And we're gonna start right now. Now, one of the big factors around weightlifting is that a lot of weightlifters struggle to see things, and they struggle to lift if they don't have the right shoes. They struggle to lift if they don't have their belt. They struggle to do the movement with really, really aggressive and fast tendencies. They start to overthink things. They start to have these downward spirals. They start to doubt themselves, and they start to think about all of these different factors, right? The reason why I'm bringing this up is because we're gonna check out one of these videos. We're gonna check out a video from Jamar Chase. We're gonna look at him, okay? So he's a wide receiver in the NFL. Might weigh 200 pounds max, okay? So 90 kilos or so. He's extraordinarily tall. Likely doesn't have that high of a back squat. You know, maybe he can back squat 400 pounds. I don't know at all. Maybe a little more than 400 pounds, but he probably doesn't back squat that much. Now, is he an absolute freak athlete? 100%. But I wanna watch his videos of him power cleaning 315 for reps. And then I wanna take that, I wanna break it down, and I wanna see how we can use his movements in the realm of Olympic weightlifting. So as a weightlifter, what can we learn from the power, from the speed, from the positions of Jamar Chase? So let's check this out, because I've got two different videos. First, let's look at this video here of Jamar. This is 315 pounds, and wait till you see this. Boom, boom.
Yep, easy. Yes, sir. Come on. There you go.
In sneaks. Just remember, he's hitting this in sneaks.
Again.
Look at the back position here. And you know, a lot of coaches will say like, oh, why do we think about pushing the knees back? We shouldn't be pushing the knees back. We should be getting those knees out, or we shouldn't even be cueing the athletes on this. Okay, don't push your knees back. This dude is not a weightlifter. He's extremely tall. He's thin. Doesn't back squat a lot. Look at that knee position, okay? I just wanted to point that out. And this is his second rep. Here, I wanted to go back because I want to just look at his actual technique. Boom. Okay, so look at that big extension. Boom. Nice fast position into the catch. Hang on, let's see if I can time this well. Okay, so even here, he remains flat-footed. Okay, so he's flat-footed through the heel. Look at that. Chest is still over the bar. He's got that knee flexion here. So his knees were back. The bar came over, you know, we call that no man's land around that kneecap. His knees came back under, and now he gets that big finish, fast catch. Now, typically, myself included, I'd be like, oh my God, his feet are too wide. He's doing a power. He's also a football player. It's okay. He's gonna survive. That's his second one.
Deep breath.
I wonder if people on the highway know that Jamar Chase is power cleaning 315 for 3. Knees start to come back. Holds decent posture here. His back's a little bit softer than it was on that second rep, but this is his third one, so he's a little fatigued. Again, nice positioning there. Let's go back to like right. Okay, so again, look at that. Chest stays over the bar, knees are back, knees are back, knees are back. Let's go back here. I'm gonna try and pulse it right above the knee. Even here, he's still flat-footed. Still flat-footed almost. Boom.
Yes, sir. Stand up.
Fast catch, rock solid. Rock solid. Now, I wanna check this one out because here's another video of him. And I think this might be 325. All right, so we can see right off the floor with Jamar that, what do his knees do? He starts to come back with those that position right there. Now his back maybe could be a little bit tighter with the chest up just a little bit more, but then the cool part here is that he starts to bring those knees right under, so the bar never gets away from him. Okay, the bar, he loads the crap out of his hamstrings with those long legs. The bar's never too far forward, so it's never pulling him forward. Now, look at this nice finish. Look at this finish. And the one thing too is I like to think about here is a lot of weightlifters struggle to have they'll keep their shoulders here instead of getting their shoulders back. Okay, shoulders back off the hip. And you can see that with Jamar at this position, that then his shoulders are back, and then that enables his elbows to wrap quickly. And you can see too, a lot of a lot of weightlifters, now keep in mind, I know his technique's not phenomenal, but what are we trying to learn here? How quickly he brings his chest to the bar. His chest never gets way behind the bar. It gets to that very, very quickly. And then look at this position here. You can see how well he takes on that force, a very large amount of force, catches that, good positioning, and then drops it. And so we wonder how somebody who is longer, thinner, isn't a skilled weightlifter, doesn't have a belt on, is weightlifting in squishy shoes, what is he doing, okay? And some of those big factors have to be like, first of all, I wanted to bring this up also, is that a lot of O linemen will come to me and be like, well, do I really need to clean? And it's like, if you're a D tackle or a linebacker and you see someone like Jamar Chase power cleaning 315 for reps, try to just match him. Try to get to 330 for reps. Like, you're freaks. You guys are really, really good athletes. You can do that. You can actually build up to those weights if you're periodized properly in your training. And that's exactly what we do inside of our strength training app, Peak Strength. If you're a football player, you can go in and select that you're training as a quarterback, you're training as a running back, you're training as a lineman, you're training as a kicker, and you can get a specific program to your position, which in turn, ideally will help you become that next freak like Jamar Chase. So if we get back to this, okay, one of the other big aspects is understanding impulse, okay? If we look at impulse, impulse is force in a period of time, okay? So in Jamar's position, every time he's planting, okay, every time he's running on the field, every time he grounds, he's got about 0.1 seconds, maybe a little bit more, to apply force into the ground. Then when he has to cut, he has to be strong enough in his specific routes. So if he's running, let's say 5 steps in a cut, he has to be strong enough to be able to decelerate, change his center of mass, and go into a completely another direction so that he can then make a play. He also, as he's coming out of those cuts, he also has to be able to jump very high. He also has to be able to catch a ball and then potentially take a hit very well. So if he's strong enough and if he's moving things very quickly and he's doing power cleans, that's going to improve his impulse expression. Okay, so we've got to think through that lens. These are aspects of training that even football players don't think about. Impulse is the word that we need to focus on. It's not power, it's impulse, impulse, impulse. The more impulse we train towards, the better we'll be as athletes. That's why we have an entire day inside of Peak Strength called Impulse Day. It's going to help with those aspects. And then finally, one of the things that weightlifters can borrow, okay, the weightlifting realm, recognize that he still has an absurd amount of speed. So when we're doing powers, think about that speed. Think about that rack position. Okay, we look at his technique. Okay, his knees come back, his knees came under, he held a flat foot very long, and that was in sneakers. That wasn't in weightlifting shoes. So if we can hold that flat foot longer, and if we can have those knees come back and then the knees come under and then finish super, super tall. Think about his shoulder position as well. His elbow rack was, his elbows wrapping around the bar at a very, very high speed. And then that trunk control. He didn't collapse and fall all over the place. He met that bar very, very tightly. Those are all things that we can take as weightlifters. Okay, we can learn from one of the best wide receivers in the world and say, all right, I gotta get my knees back. I gotta have my knees come under. I gotta hold a flat foot as long as I can on the pull. Potentially, if I forgot my weightlifting shoes, everything's gonna be okay. I can be very fast off the hip, and I want to think chest to the bar, chest to the bar, chest to the bar. I've used this cue in other videos, okay? Hips, chest to the bar. That way our chest does not get behind and it doesn't crash on us. Those are some key concepts that we can take away from analyzing Jamar Chase. Strength coaches have done a phenomenal job with him. He's an absolute animal, works his ass off, and I hope in the future he continues to dominate. Because remember, freaks, if you want to become a champion, you've always got to cultivate your power. Peace.